I'm worried about this thing.
I don't think it'll bother you.
We have, this puppy is new to us and new to this environment, and what we're doing is seeing how she adjusts to that form of stressor. It's a really big stressor for them, being removed from everything they're familiar with. She's doing well in the sense that she's at least elevated, she's standing and she's looking around. Her tail is lowered and it's tense, you know, tongue flicks and closed mouth and so on. But as long as she's looking around and there's some sort of movement, then I'm not really going to intervene too much. I basically want to see if she'll just push through it on her own, because that's really the best thing, is to let her work at her pace. So when you take her visiting, if she's you know, kind of needing a minute or two to get comfortable, or a few minutes, more than that, to get comfortable, puppy, leave it, good girl, then let her have that time, because she'll just be happier with the people that she's interacting with afterwards, and she'll be happier in her environment. Most people would want to pick her up because she's young and she's feeling insecure, but it's actually the worst thing you could do, because she doesn't learn that she can overcome this feeling of you know, insecurity, and that she'll be fine. You see her bracing and leaning forward the way she is, so that's her being cautious. Quite independent because she's doing her own thing. She's not looking to me to help her through this. She's trying to do it all on her own. What we ultimately want to see is that nice movement, the softened body, and the tail over the back. You see it slowly going up now? We ultimately want to see it curled over her back and moving slightly. I keep calling her away from the electrical outlet there. Clean up.
Ooh, big one.
Oh, it's like a lake.
I know.
Oh, I'm gonna need a few for this one. Better not go and grab that. You have to roll for this one, girl. Yeah. There we go, that's better. So we haven't yet greeted each other. Hello. Well, hello. It's taken a little while to come say hi to Aunt Beach. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Hi. Good girl. Good girl. Thank you. Very nice. So it's give and take a little bit. I really want to build a nice relationship with her. I acknowledge every effort she makes, you know, looking at me softly, giving me little kisses, giving me a little nudge. So what I do is give her a bit of affection and then I pull it away. So we're doing this back and forth game. Thank you. And it's just going to kind of lure her in so that she's going to want more affection from me. Yeah, good job. Well, thank you. There's a lot of give and take with you. Yeah. Good. Oh my goodness, this is such a game. Yes, it is. You're funny. A little bit of a character. Yeah, that hand's not so nice. It's got Lysol on it. Yeah. He's not. He's not for puppies. Yeah, it's not for puppies. She's so gentle. She's a little sweetie. Yeah. So it's funny, although we saw she's independent, she was quite environmental, doing her own thing. Now that we're connecting, she's really, really having a wonderful time getting to know me. So it just shows that when you work with your puppy and, you know, you've got her at home with her, you're feeding her, you're doing your exercises, you're bringing her out, all those little things, it's just all this time spent and this opportunity to build on the bond. So ultimately you have a wonderful companion who's looking to you for affection, right? She's cute. Nice, thank you. So the tail's going up, we're starting to see that movement that we want to see. Leaning forward, being cautious. She's definitely more comfortable in this space now. Still not 100%, she's getting there. But she definitely likes to be thoughtful and cautious, and we're seeing that a lot in this litter. This is a very thoughtful litter. So we're definitely seeing a higher environmental focus in this puppy. What we ultimately want is responsiveness no matter where you are. So you can envision that a puppy that has higher environmental, no matter where you go, she's going to be all over the place, right? So how do you get her to pay attention to you without you having to chase after her? And how do you get her to be responsive to you? It's by being proactive. So you have to be proactive, you have to do your exercises where it's quiet, get a really good responsiveness from her, and when you're both ready, you move on to an area with more going on, and you slowly build and build and build on the level of distraction, so that ultimately when you go to a place where there's lots going on, she will still be responsive to you when you need her to be. So the next exercise is one of the games that we play, and I suggest you do this at home. Place some toys around a room and start walking around. The goal is for her to check out the things in her environment, but to come to you every once in a while and just kind of look for a little bit of affection, see if you need anything, and then off she goes, okay? So we're going to teach her to do that. You'll be able to take the information in this video, practice it at home, start where it's quiet, and then eventually move up to you know, again, the same thing as with the training. You go to different environments, so there's more going on, and you're still playing this game. So she doesn't know what we're doing yet. Just walking around. She was just looking at me, but she wasn't coming to me. Puppy, 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 puppy. Puppy, 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 puppy. Come here. Good girl. Yay, good job. Walk away. She's like, what? What just happened? Puppy, puppy, puppy. Puppy, puppy, puppy. Yes, good job. Real quick. We don't ask for a sit, nothing like that. Just do it over and over again. And what we ultimately want is for her to come on her own. Good job. Yeah, good job. So if you make her feel really, really good about herself every time she comes to you, very good. Yeah, good job. Then you'll reach your goal, and then you practice, 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 right? You don't just do it once and expect it to stick. Very good job. She's got higher environmental, so I want her to want to come to me and be with me on her own terms, as well as on my terms. Very good. Yeah, good job. Very good, honey. So again, we're not asking for a sit, we're not making her work, we're rewarding her with affection every time she does what we want, which is turning towards us. That can get verbal praise. Coming to you for a pat, then she gets her physical praise, right? If there's too much going on, just scale it back again and go to an area where it's more quiet, where you could play the game. And if you need to, sometimes you might need to bring treats into the equation. Give her a little treat reward. And mix it up a little bit for her. Good girl, yeah! Good job! Okay, I'm gonna pick you up. Are you ready? And do our elevation. All right, so the tail is still, a little tension in it. Oh, she's wonderful. She's not resisting at all. She's being so patient and so tolerant. Good job. Yeah. So maintain those traits by raising her properly. We don't, punish for unwanted behavior. What we do is set her up for success and we raise her proactively. Okay? Bring it here. Good. Bring it here. Oh, you little rascal. So you might need to work with her to engage her to bring it to you and get a reward for bringing it to you. But she was very good. She was curious, she was engaged, she was focused, so that was good. And she did turn towards me when I asked her to bring it. You just need to work on the last step there. So we're gonna do food rewards. And I love using food rewards for training. Good girl, good girl. What's this? Yeah, you want a little treat? There you go. So the biggest thing with food rewards is just to make sure their energy is good so that she's able to focus, she's able to do what you're asking her to do. So if you pull out the treats and she's really squirrely and excited, it's really hard for her to learn to sit, especially in the beginning. So what you want to do is just kind of gauge it, and if you find that's the case, then use something that's not quite as exciting for her, so maybe the kibble or some vegetables. When she starts getting the hang of exercises, then you can go back and reintroduce treats again. Okay? So, did you even see the treat? I don't even know if you saw it in here. Okay. So having a hard time focusing, right? I've shown her the treats a few times, more so than we have with other puppies. And she chased the cup around, she's stepping on the treats now, and she's just not quite getting it. So yeah, you gauge it when you get home. Don't toss the treats that you buy if they're too exciting for her. Just set them aside for 3 or 4 days. Get started on the program and then reach out for the treats. So you can use food rewards, patting, and verbal praise. Verbal praise is starting to have a better effect on her a little bit. You've noticed that with the movement and with the paper. But really her strongest reinforcer right now is the food reward. So let's just monitor that energy to make sure she can give us the results that we want.
Sorry.
Bless you. Bless you. Yeah. Okay, we are going to go on to our sound sensitivity.
Sorry.
Look at her. She's like, what's happening? So she did really well. Reacted, turned, started to run, didn't go and hide anywhere, didn't whimper, nothing. It wasn't extreme. It was a very nice reaction. Already full recovery on her own. What I especially like is when she was making her way back, she was looking at me. So she was kind of doing this a little bit, but she was looking at me. So kind of checking to say, hey, is everything okay? I really like that. When something happens, especially when we have a dog that's got that independent trait, I like it if they get startled or they're unsure that they look to me for direction first and not just do what they want to do, okay? And that's exactly what we saw with her, so that was really, really nice. Okay. Good, good. What was this? What we got here? Good. It's a little hard to get her focused again, right? ready to move on to the next thing. So she did okay, but it's an interesting thing to see that when you're trying to engage her, she'll quickly get distracted with something else. So if that's the case, have a really, because especially when she's so young, have a really light little leash on her, something really light that's not heavy. You're not using it to pull her towards you, you're using it, good girl, yeah. You're using it just to prevent her from getting too far so you can start the process of doing your training with your puppy and get her to focus and get her to stay in one spot. And then, once you start getting the results, you're not going to need to use the leash indoors to do that. But we use whatever tools we need in order to get what we want. So we have to set her up for success. So if we're trying to get her to do exercises and she's like, okay, 3 seconds are passed, I'm out of here, it'll just get frustrating and you won't get where you want to be. So what do? Think about it. Think, okay, I need to prevent her from getting too far away from me. So what I'm going to do is use a really light leash, and I'm going to do the same things that I would normally do without it. It's like an invisible connection there. Get the responsiveness you want. Get rid of that aid. We call it an aid, a training tool, and then you just move forward from there. I'm going to clean this little mess up that she just did.
Oh, now she follows me just.
Good job! Is that why you were distracted? Because you had to pick? Is that why?
I think she's yours now. Yep.
Oh dear. Not up. There we go. Are you sucking me again? Yay! It's a very good job. My hands are a bit busy, but I'm praising her verbally. And what do we have left now? Just our prey drive?
Oh, look at her now. She's
Good girl!
right in it.
Good girl! So how nice is that, eh? She's decided I'm okay and she wants to be with me. Very focused. The funny thing is, when I slow down, she slows down, right? So it's not the strong instinctual prey drive that we see in some breeds, but it still is strong. There's focus there, and once she gets it, she's probably going to want to hold on to it and play with it for a while. So I'd peg her at kind of a medium to high, which means that you need to do your work, your foundation training every day, get the responsiveness, there's a big kill shake there, and redirect her attention before she gets too focused on something that she'll want to chase after. So you're going to ask her for the leave it, the watch me, and then give her a job to do. Those are exercises you're going to be practicing in the Happy Puppy Training Kit several times a week anyway. So you're going to get her to understand what that means in different scenarios, and then you're going to use it when you need it. So she really, really is a sweet girl. Have fun with her. We're done. Look at her.